Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video, which is going to be all about Dior Holiday. For me, this is one of the most exciting holiday collections we have seen so far. Dior have really been doing it for me in 2024. They've released a lot of products that I've absolutely loved and have been really exciting. Even when we've been drowning in makeup and we think we've seen it all and we're bored of everything and no one can do anything new, I feel like Dior have really managed to bring us exciting products this year, and their holiday collection is no exception. I'll be sharing all of the information on Dior Holiday 2024. I will also be sharing what I chose for myself from this very large collection, what my picks were, and of course demonstrating these products on my face today. And we will be doing some comparisons to existing products to see if they actually are different to what we already own from the brand. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is one of the largest and most impressive, most exciting holiday collections so far that we have seen. As soon as this dropped, from the packaging to the products themselves, I was all over it. I was waiting. We got this a few days after the US. Here in the UK, it was a few days later here, and I was literally on Dior's website refreshing because I wanted these products. Everything just excited me. Everything tickled my pickle. I was all over it. So like I said, a very large collection. So hopefully I'm going to help you narrow down your picks and what I recommend, what I was particularly interested in. We have a very large, very expensive advent calendar. We have 10 shades, 10 of their liquid sequin lipsticks. These were mega popular last year. They sold out very quickly. So they've of course brought them back with even more shades this year, and a golden lid just to make it look a little extra festive. We have 2 new shades of my beloved Dior Addicts along with a new case. We have 4 shades of their Rouge Dior lip formula. We have 2 eyeshadow palettes, 2 shades of highlighter. We have a new Dior Forever Cushion foundation case. We've got 2 nail varnish shades, and then we have a whole load of holiday gift sets that consist mostly of existing products in a little travel makeup pouch. Oh, and I almost forgot, because I had to scroll down a little to see these, the two more holiday palettes. One that is this multi-use. I spoke about this in my Will I Buy It. This has eyeshadows, cheek products, lip products and brushes. And then we have another eyeshadow palette, which is a different format, that rectangular 5-pan format. And I think that's it. I think that's everything. Whew, you see what I'm saying when I said it was a large collection? I wasn't joking. So as for my picks, I fully skipped on the eyeshadows. I do think these eyeshadow palettes look pretty. I just have learned over the years, much like Chanel, much like Tom Ford eyeshadow formulas, that Dior just doesn't quite do it for me. Their shadows are a little quieter, a little less impactful, and less sort of wow factor. So in this day and age, with the amount of eyeshadow that I'm sure we all have, I know I certainly have plenty, in order for me to want to purchase from a brand where I know they're not my favorite formulas, it's got to be a mega interesting color story, because otherwise I've got something like it in a formula I probably would prefer. So I think these eyeshadow quints, you know how I love that word though, are pretty. But do I think they're wowing me, knocking my socks off, stand out in my collection? I'll use them a lot? No, I just know I won't use them. I think my favorite is the Golden Masquerade, which is the pinkier of the 2. I just think that one is more my kind of colors, but I just know that ultimately if I spend £60 on this, I'll be disappointed. It won't give me as much impact as I look for. So I completely skipped on the eyeshadow palettes. I also skipped on the Rouge Dior. It's not especially favorite formula of mine. I like it, but I'm not obsessed with it. I do like the embossing, but there's no shades here that sort of spoke to me enough for me to want to grab them. But what did grab me were the highlighters. So I picked up 1 shade of the new highlighter. This is a limited edition, both shades in here. I picked up Coral Lumiere, which is the deeper, more coral tone highlighter. There is also Or Lumiere, which is a more golden, lighter shade. Both of these shades are limited edition for holiday and they will set you back £53, and they come in this outrageously beautiful component. It has some of the most stunning embossing on it that I've ever seen. Isn't she glorious? And here we have a heavy swatch and then a more sort of blended out swatch, so you can see how it would look on the skin. So beautiful. It's not overly coral, it's got a hint and a slight shift to it, and sort of shifts from more gold into a beautiful coral depending on how your skin is catching the light. Stunning. It's described as a pearlescent pigment with an iridescent multi-dimensional glow, instantly lighting up the face with spectacular radiance. And it also claims to be a long wear highlighter, which is an unusual claim for a highlighter. Next, I had to pick up one shade of these sequin liquid lipsticks. These were so popular last year. They sold out quite quickly in every shade. This year I chose shade number 333, which is Intrigue. So this is Dior's regular liquid lipstick formula, but with added sequin effect. So you apply it as you would your regular liquid lipstick, and then you wait for it to fully dry down, and then you rub your lips together, and it makes this burst of glitter appear on your lips that is so pretty and perfect for Christmas parties, New Year's. It's so pretty. I absolutely love it. Now, it's not a formula that I would wear day to day. Like, I don't typically walk around with glittery, sparkling lips on the school run. I mean, you could absolutely, and more power to you. I just don't. So I didn't want to grab a load of these because I know it's, you know, I'm not really a liquid lipstick girl. I'm not really a matte girl, and I'm definitely not much of a glittery girl. But I do think for Christmas parties and New Year's parties, these are super fun. And that's really the only time that I would usually wear them, for a party or some super fun occasion. So these will set you back £40, and they are available in a whopping 10 shades this year, which just goes to show how popular they were last year. So as I said, I picked up one shade, and this year they have this gold cap, which I really appreciate. I think the packaging is super pretty. So I will swatch this, but you won't get the full effect of the finish of this until I demonstrate it on my lips, which of course I will do shortly. By the way, everything in this collection is limited edition, from the lipsticks, the highlighters, the advent calendar, of course, the eyeshadow palettes, everything limited edition. And then finally, of course, you knew that I would pick up one of the Dior Addicts. These are my favorite lip formula. I absolutely love them. They are so comfortable, so shiny. I love the sort of adaptable opacity. You can get a really light wash from these or really build up the color. They're my absolute favorite lip formula and have been for a long time. I have so many of them. So I went back and forth on this. I did pick up the coral shade, which of course you knew I was going to. So that's Festive Coral, shade number 324. I'm also still a little bit on the fence about the other holiday shade, which is 704 Divine Plum. I was really unsure whether to grab that or not. Based on the picture of the bullet, I was like, this is just not for me. It looks very plum. That's not my kind of lipstick colour at all. I won't wear that. But I've seen swatches where it actually looks quite nude leaning, like neutral leaning. So I'm kind of on the fence. I'm waiting for more swatches. I may go back and grab that one. Both of these shades, Festive Coral and Divine Plum, are limited edition again. So be careful. So you have been warned. If you want to grab them, you should probably move fairly quickly with those limited edition shades. Something else to note is that there is a festive case for the Addicts. All of these are refillable, and you can buy fancy cases, or you can get the standard black lacquer case. So the refills of these shades were not available on the UK site. They're not currently available on the UK site. You can only buy those two new lipsticks for holiday in this black lacquer packaging. So they will set you back £39, whereas you can save £8 if you are purchasing just the refill, but the refills are not available as yet for these shades, at least on the UK site. So if you wanted to buy one of the Addicts and then get the case, you're going to have to pay £39 for this case and then paid £28 for the Festive holiday case. So I skipped on the Grand Bal case because last year's holiday case was almost identical, very, very similar. I think this year's looks a little darker, but very, very similar. So I really didn't feel like I needed another case. I have so many of these. It's just unnecessary for me. But here is Festive Coral. So that is quite a built up swatch. These can be really sheer and easy going, or you can build them up quite a bit like I have here, but this is a very easy going coral shade, which I love, super wearable. And you know, coral isn't necessarily a shade that we typically associate with Christmas and the holiday season. So I like that it's not so super bright coral or it feels very spring or summer. It's a little more subtle in a very wearable way, so I love that. Now, like I said, I do have a lot of these lipsticks, so I picked out the shades that I thought might be kind of similar to that, and we'll do some swatching comparisons once we've applied these products. You can see this has dried down now, and it is actually quite hard to remove. So these are super long wearing, and in the scheme of things when it comes to liquid lipstick, these are one of the more comfortable to wear formulas that I have tried. Now, a bit of a wild card and nothing to do with Dior. I'm going to also show you this new brush from Rephr today. This is the Koyo brush that is upcoming tomorrow. It's going to be a very limited release because these brushes have taken a huge amount of work and time, and they are extremely special. So I'm going to show you this brush in action with my blush today once I've finished with the Dior highlighter. I have been obsessed with it. This is my favorite Rephr brush of all time. It is stunningly beautiful. The name Koyo means autumn leaves, which I think is stunning, and you will see when I show you the close-up in a second, this ridiculously glorious detail on the handle. It's the most beautiful brush I think I've ever seen. But this is the same technique, much more expensive hair, but the same technique of pinching the bristles that we saw with the Alexandra and Neil brush. So it's been pinched on one side only, and the brush is just so light and airy. I've been using this for everything. I've been using it for bronzer, blush, and highlight. You could certainly use it for powder as well. I've also been using it for a bit of buffing. It's the lightest, sort of, whatever the word, airy, fluffy brush. There's no density to it at all. So if you're trying to apply a light wash, a very natural airbrushed amount of product, this is what I'm reaching for, because it's so light and fluffy and airy. It's never going to apply too much product or leave you with work to do as far as blending. It leaves an airbrushed, super diffused application straight away, which is why I love it. And the angle, I mean, it was also going to be perfect for contour. It's such a versatile shape and size. Let me show you this handle close up. I certainly think this has got to be the most beautiful brush I have ever seen. It's absolutely stunning. I really hope my camera is doing a good job of showing this because it's glorious. You know, there's little sort of branches that are like almost glittering and sparkling, and the colours of the leaves, like the detail is ridiculous. So I will jump into a little demo with that brush when I get to blush, but we're first of all going to apply this new highlighter. I'm super excited about trying this because I haven't used it on my face yet. I kind of put it on over the makeup that I already had for the day when it arrived yesterday, but yeah, I couldn't really tell what it was doing because I had already had a full face of makeup on, but I'm excited. So I do have bronzer on already. I used the RMS bronzer today. Let's start applying. The shade of this is perfect. It melts into my skin beautifully, and it's not like too much, you know, it's just enough. Beautiful, beautiful luminosity. It's not enhancing my texture, it's not sitting on top of my skin, it's really melting into my skin tone. And although the name Coral, you know, conjures up a very coral shade, it's not sort of one that you would use, you know, as a highlighting blush. You know, it actually has a very barely there shift to it. Certainly not looking like colour on the skin. It's just a gorgeous soft glow, really pretty, absolutely beautiful. Very pleased with that. So as I said, I'm going to use this brush because it is coming out tomorrow, so I do want you guys to be ready if you choose to purchase this. Of course, I will link it down below where you can sign up for early access, but I'll also link it as soon as it launches to give you guys a heads up. It will definitely sell out super quickly. You have been warned. Last year's holiday brush was, I think, their fastest ever selling brush, and I think this one is just even more beautifully decorated and adorned, and I think a much more unique shape and size and everything, and it just does so much so beautifully. Like, you don't have to do anything. It literally diffuses and blends the product for you. This is my Sisley brush, and it picks up, you know, a good amount of product, but it just like applies it so lightly and naturally, and it's so soft. You know, the bristles are the absolute top quality, and this has helped me so much. You guys know I'm really heavy-handed when it comes to product, so any brush that can do the light-handed bit for me and help control product and give me a much more diffused application is an absolute diamond in my book. I'll apply it with a sort of wider angled side, and then I'll go in with the other edge that doesn't have product to buff the edges. But like I said, I've been using this. I use this today for bronzer. I'm using it now for blush. You can use this absolutely for highlighter, powder, contour, and it's going to apply everything seamlessly, very lightly, beautifully, naturally. I absolutely love it. It's the most beautiful brush. I actually had a phone call with Tom from Rephr to explain all of the work behind this brush when I first received it, and I said to him, you know, usually when I get brushes that are so beautifully decorated like this, I can't use them. I feel it's, you know, wrong to cover them in makeup and get them dirty and then wash them. Seems like sacrilege, you know? So I find it usually really hard to use them, but this brush is so different and so special. I couldn't not use it. I needed to use it because I knew how brilliant and perfect for me it was going to be, and I've not stopped using it since, even though I feel slightly guilty about it. Okay, so let's wipe my lip mask off, and I'm going to start with the Festive Coral Addict because that's going to be easier to remove. So I'm going to do a sort of light wash initially, and you see how easygoing and soft of an application this starts off with, just, you know, a couple of passes, almost like a little hint of a tinted lip balm, but then you can build it up quite a bit. Which is something I love about these Addicts. They aren't ever really like full opacity. They sort of go from a sheer to a medium. Very natural, so wearable. This shade is absolutely perfect for me, right up my street. I do have some shades to compare swatch-wise to this in a moment. I also picked out some sort of corally highlighters to compare the highlighter to in a moment as well. I really don't want to wipe this off because it's so pretty. I love these kind of shades, these sort of softer corals. Oh, right up my street. Okay, so let's start off applying the liquid sequin. So you don't have to worry. You definitely get a bit of time to like finesse these before they dry down. They don't dry down super quickly. So I think while that's drying down, I might as well do my comparison swatches, because otherwise I'm going to get tempted to roll my lips together and try and find the glitter when it's too soon. You have to wait for it to fully dry Okay, so I'm going to distract myself so that I do that. So here we have the new shade from this Dior Holiday collection. Next to that, I'm going to swatch the Coral Cruise shade from Dior. They're identical, aren't they? Okay, so I think on camera and in this mirror, they looked identical, but actually in person, Coral Cruise shade is actually a little more coral. It's got slightly more coral to it when you see the shift, but very, very close. If you have Coral Cruise, you probably don't also need this one. Rosewood Glow, which obviously isn't a coral, it's a rosewood, but I wanted to show you it because it just shows how much less colour there is in this limited edition. This is very much a pink, whereas these, it is a softer, more subtle tone. I also thought I would compare some of the highlighters from these duos that I picked up. So this is the Diorette highlighter. That is definitely a quieter, more subtle formula and a bit darker, not a similar shade really. And then I have the Diorama Duo, which is the lighter one. Yeah, kind of similar in shade, but this one is a little more shimmery, a little more sparkly. And then finally, I just rubbed my lips together. I can already see it coming through. I thought I would also throw in my Gucci Opal Pink. Let's try this on the bottom here. That definitely, again, has more pink. So here we have the new one, then Coral Cruise, which I think is very similar. I think actually the new one looks smoother. There's more of a sheen to this one. Definitely a nicer formula, I think. We then have the Rosewood Glow. Then we have the two shades from the Dior Duos, and then this is the Gucci Opal Pink. So from the accidental smush of my lips that I just did, I think this is ready. Can you see how it's just starting to come through just a little bit? Okay, so. Wow. So you see, it's not metallic, it's not overwhelming. It doesn't look insane, like, you know, glitter all over your lips. It's just this sort of slightly twinkly effect. It's so pretty. And so much fun, let's be honest. Okay, so let's do the Addict comparison. So we're starting off with the Festive Coral shade, and I will build these up so you can get the full idea, but this is a very soft, barely there shade. My number one comparison that I wanted to see was Coral Delight, because this is a shade that was limited edition, or is limited edition, that went out of stock. And I noticed it's actually back on Dior US's website. This is one of my all-time favorite shades. You can see how much more pigmented this one is and deeper. The Festive Coral is a beautifully light kiss of coral. I'm really excited about that shade because I think it's quite different to anything else I have. We then have Mimi Rose, which you can probably see is one of my most used shades. Again, much deeper and more pigmented. This new one is definitely quite a lot more of a natural amount of colour. Let's try Dolce Vita. Yeah, not similar. It's sort of, I like that it's so different because it's definitely kind of in its own category, just being that much more of a natural shade. And then I have Cosmic Pink, which no, I mean, it's definitely quite a bit different, lighter, sheerer, softer than any of the other corals I have. There we have a close-up for you. You can see how much different it is. So if, like me, you have a lot of Dior Addicts, or you just have a lot of coral lipsticks in general, I think you'll still be pleasantly surprised that this actually is a little bit different, because it's that lighter, softer, barely there, very feminine, very wearable, very unscary for a coral, which I love. So the liquid lipsticks, they do dry down a little darker than their initial application. So bear that in mind, that as it dries, it gets a little darker. Very comfortable. I think it's quite flattering. Doesn't sort of suck all the life out of your lips. Very long wearing. Let's see, yeah, literally nothing in the way of transfer. So it's the perfect formula for Christmas parties, I think, you know, especially if you get one of the red shades. That's the shade that I picked up last year, one of the reds. Perfect for Christmas parties. If you want to do a little party trick, you know, don't smush your lips together until you get there, and delight everybody with your party trick. It's so fun. It's not a formula that I wear really any other time of the year. I typically don't reach for a glittery, sparkly lip unless it's a party, but they are fun, nice to have, and perfect for Christmas season. The highlighter, it's not super unique. The packaging is certainly beautiful. It's very Christmassy with the embossing and everything. A beautiful gift for sure. Is it a wow, knock my socks off, I have nothing like it highlighter? No, I don't think so. I think you can live without it if you can resist the packaging. I don't think it's like something you don't already have in your collection. It's a really nice, pretty, lovely highlighter. It isn't shimmery and sparkly. It's got that beautiful pearlescent finish that I absolutely love. But as you saw, very similar to other highlighters from Dior, and probably very, very similar to other brands of highlighter that you already own. It's certainly skippable. The Festive Coral shade of the Dior Addicts is probably my favorite thing from this whole collection. And I know it's boring to most people, but I love this formula. And I'm so excited about this shade because it's just so understated and barely there, but so pretty and soft. And this is the sort of shade that I would just keep in my handbag at all times because it's so wearable, because it's not so rich or deep or pigmented that it's sort of shouty, or it's, you know, a real pop of color. It's a bit softer, more wearable. It's less likely to sort of fight with other makeup if you've gone for a different shade on your eyes or cheeks. I think it's so pretty, and I'm really excited that despite how many of these I own, it's actually quite different to any of the others, so that is delightful for me. But there you have it. Please let me know what you're excited about for this collection. Did you grab anything straight away? Are you waiting for reviews? Was the whole collection a pass? And remember that this brush is going on sale tomorrow. I will have my affiliate link down below for you, and I will of course give you a heads up as soon as it's live on the website. You will need to be fast if you want one of these. Have a think about it, have a cooling off period overnight, sleep on it, but make your decision before it goes live, because I know how quickly their last year's holiday brush sold out, and I think this is so much more stunning. And even last year's, I didn't think that was possible. Last year's was very beautiful as well. This year's, I think the actual brush itself, the shape and the functionality of it is very different. It's quite a unique little brush, so that adds to its desirability, and the decoration is out of this world. Like I said, the most beautiful brush I've ever seen in my whole makeup collection. So I know this is going to sell out ridiculously fast. I know it's a limited release, so you will need to be on time. So I, of course, will let you know as soon as it goes live. I will post a link on my community tab here and on my Instagram stories, so you will have the heads up as soon as it goes live. You know, I'm always here with the release, the hot release information. So hopefully that will help you not panic, and you won't be able to miss it if you're following my Instagram and my community page here on YouTube. If you have your notifications on for my channel, you're subscribed and you have your notifications on, you'll get notified about posts in the same way as you will about videos. So turn your notifications on if you want heads up as soon as products go live. I'm pretty snappy, if I don't say so myself. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.